Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to StarCrafting. It's been a while. I'm SSN Incarnum, and you're watching a game between Complexity Trimaster and Fnatic STI? Todd! He used to be Millennium Todd. He's not anymore. I don't really care. I have no ties to Millennium, no wishes or thoughts towards them whatsoever. Not really following their play a lot. I know that when Millennium came into being, they had a lot of really interesting players right off the bat. Stefano actually just won a big tournament. He actually ended it up in his ZVZ that was very one-sided. So thumbs up to Stefano. Used to be in the same clan as Todd. But I guess everybody's got to part their ways. Still sad about Huck leaving Team Liquid, but that was a long time ago. Now part of Team EG, but that's not this game at all. Complexity Trimaster building that standard Terran wall that we see a lot, and Todd just doing that standard Protoss thing, you know, the gate and then the cyber core. Nothing fancy, no two gates, no hidden pylon right off the bat that we have to pay attention to. However, the probe is wandering over here. We'll see what that turns into, whether that's a pylon or not. But you know, I don't know what he would. Yeah, it is a pylon. There it is. There it is. This gives him nice remote warping opportunities, and you know, he can hide tech here. Whatever he wants to do. Pylons mean options. And two Marines right here at the front door to deny a probe from slipping through and detecting any kind of expansions. So Terran players, this is a nifty thing to do if you don't have a bunker yet. Forward positions are always good because you can always fall back, and falling back is a better option than being cornered in your base. So the more space you give yourself, the better. Plus, you know, if you're sitting here at the ramp, whether you take an expansion or not, your opponent thinks that's in the cards. So it's a good idea to keep that in mind. The Protoss player also doing the same thing with a single Stalker. This one Stalker can do a lot of damage to a pack of Marines, and that's all that are on the field right now for Trimaster, so it's a good unit to have out front. And look at that, there's a bunch of Marines to say hi and wave to Todd's probe as it tries to slip through the base. And look at this, we are seeing a proxy Stargate from Todd. Guys, if you don't know this, Todd is really high. I think top 5 Grandmaster right now in North America. With actually, out of the top 5 players, 4 of them are Protoss. Now, only 2 of them have stupid win rates that we're used to seeing from like top level. I mean, the Muslim was in first place for a long time with the most ridiculous win rates. It used to be Select in first place, you know, for 2-3 seasons in a row, 2 seasons, I guess. And he always also had stupid win rates. We're used to seeing Kiwi Kaki, another Protoss player with stupid win rates. But a lot of the Protoss players that are up there right now seem to be point farming more than anything. Just a lot of games. But you have to be a good player to be in Grandmaster League. That's all I'm saying. Todd patrolling for God knows why. I guess his probe has nothing better to do. It's going to prove to the world that ADD is not an issue, and Void Ray crossing the field. This is when things get real. Look at this pylon placement. That is so beautiful. Giving him an opportunity to warp in on the high ground. Who cares about front doors, man? I know I don't. And this Void Ray is going to be more than a problem. It's going to be the end of the game unless we already have a starport out, and that is the best decision that Trimaster could have made. And it's going to give him the opportunity to make Vikings. Banshees aren't going to cut it. One Zealot gets into the SCV line with that Void Ray. Marines coming to defend against the Void Ray, but the Void Ray will be able to get out without even losing shields. A Banshee still coming out. This is the direction that the Terran player wants to go. No opportunity for warp in on the high ground anymore, as the Void Ray is not in position to do that. However, a second Void Ray coming into position will be able to harass this bunker. A Stalker getting up front, but not being microed properly, getting ahead of itself. Gonna charge up on the bunker and clear a path. Once that door is open, once there's more surface area on this bunker, it will be very killable. And here we go. This looks like it could be a deadly push. However, there is a Banshee going into the Protoss base at the same time. And he will be focusing down SCVs, as no, he's going to let him repair that bunker all day long. A Banshee in the base, no cloak done for that Banshee. A warp in of Stalkers makes it a bit of a pickle for Trimaster to try to do any damage. I think if Todd was... No! Todd's going to lose a Void Ray. Todd's going to lose a second Void Ray if he doesn't get it out there. He does micro back. A Guardian Shield goes up to snipe those Marines. So more Marines down, and Colonel Trimaster is in a lot of trouble. More Void Rays on the way, I'm sure. No, actually, in the production tab, we have no Void Rays. Is Todd letting his macro slip? What is the decision-making that has gone into that? Now, Cloak is done for this Banshee. Man, what a harass turnaround. This is incredible. An expansion has been completed by Todd, or at least on its way. But I don't really know. I think Todd could have done more with that pylon on the ground. Attacking the front door of a Terran is never going to, you know, it's not going to let you in. And Cloak will only last so much longer on this Banshee. However, it's only a matter of time before a second Banshee arrives, and here it comes, already on its way. This Banshee is going to run out of energy in about 18 seconds, and that Phoenix will be able to pick it off. But it has 13 kills. This Sergeant? It says Surgeon, not Sergeant. I can see Insurgent, but okay. Anyway, that probe should just stay in that geyser. He's safe there, but no longer. He is simply parts on the floor. And where did that second Banshee go? And finally, that Banshee goes down. The second Banshee. Oh, somehow, some way, Todd got in the front door. I'm tempted to go back and see how it happened. SCV line comes off for Colonel Trimaster. Complexity. If I do that, you just laugh silly. Okay? Promise? Yeah. SCV's gonna focus down a sentry. Come on, force field goes down to that. Oh! SCV's get a surround on the Stalkers. Sentry bailing them out. Void Ray not going to cut it as the Marines cut the Void Ray down. And a Phoenix sitting here just feeling kind of silly. He doesn't know what to do. He's not useful here at all. And he will be backing out, as there are enough Marines here to make a small Marine salad. And Trimaster floating this factory around all day long. I think it's patrolling, but someday that will run out of fuel. I mean, in the real world. So now we are chronoing out probes. Both players really a little bit nervous about what's going on here. A Phoenix being used to scout. Marines spot that pylon on the low ground. I swear to God, that pylon could have been so useful had he have, continued that harass on the front door and brought a second Void Ray or third Void Ray up to this pylon to warp in on the top as well. He could never have guarded the front door as well as the mineral line. And that's just how I feel about that situation. I think that Todd could have ended this game right then and there. But I'm not a pro player, and we all know that we all think differently while we're in game. Had he watched this replay, maybe he'd think the same, but maybe I'm completely wrong. Another Banshee comes in here. A Phoenix trying to get in here to stop it. Oh, we almost have an Observer on the way. He won't be able to focus down this Robo Bay nor unpower it, so that Observer will be out. However, the Banshee is faster than the Observer, and but it's almost out of energy on its own. This will collect a bunch of probe kills before the Observer can kill it, and there comes the Observer. Phoenix going to snipe down this Banshee. The Banshee is light armor, if I'm not mistaken, and that means the Phoenix gets bonus damage to that. And here's the factory, just kind of chilling, and Phoenix is just gonna chill next to it. I mean, why? What the fuck? Where is? Oh, it landed! It landed to block! Oh my goodness! It landed to block mining path to this Nexus. This factory has become a pickle. We are seeing a Marine SCV push. That is a lot of SCVs going with those Marines, but it is not an all-in. Mules will be, this is right here, 12. Oh my god, 6 times 3, it's 18. There's a lot of SCVs worth of mules there. 1 second, coughing. I haven't yawned once yet. You guys have got to be so proud of me. Oh my goodness, Marines are going to come in and just maul these Zealots. However, they're not being microed back. Why is Trimaster not microing back? Finally, scooting, shooting, but he lost way too many SCVs and way too many Marines before he made that choice. Picking up a couple Marines with those Phoenix. Phoenix are such an interesting choice in this mix, but I mean, he's got to do something with that starport. And the Terran player still hasn't scouted it. Trimaster trying to get his bearings again. He's in good shape, even though losing all those SCVs. Going to the income tab for a second. He is behind in harvesters, but way ahead in mineral income. Way, way ahead by almost double. So that's just the power of mules, guys. Gotta keep that in mind as a Protoss player. You think you did a lot of economic damage, but that's not the case. That's not how you beat a Terran player. Don't, I mean, economy, killing their economy is a great idea, but you have to freaking neutralize it. You can't just do some damage, because it repairs really fast. And yeah, I think Terran infrastructure is the way to go. When you kill those add-ons, when you kill those barracks, when you kill those supply depots, that's when you're hurting him, because that's build time. Build time is the way to go against Terran, not econ. But I mean, if you can get SCVs, get them by all means. There's no harm done, right? But don't lose units to do it. Don't sacrifice your entire army to kill a mineral line, because if there's a couple command centers, they'll be right back up before you will be. And oh my goodness, look at the speed that an army was reproduced. This is so much, so fast. Todd is still ahead in supply, but will he have the army comp to defeat this? If his force fields are good and if his zealots are in front, he should be fine. His force fields have to be mint, but even force fields won't be perfect if those lift off into the medevacs. And that's what might happen. We're getting high ground vision. Todd actually letting a stalker die. No! There we go. And those marauders do have slow shells. And wow, that was a very quick lift off and drop down. And now this is an issue where Todd is caught in a strange situation. Oh! And he will be able to get a full medevac! Yes! A Phoenix does pick up that medevac. And there's still a bio army on the ground. That was a huge pickup. A Colossus out, which I was not looking at the production tab. That came out of nowhere. Man, I almost want to close the production tab for moments like that. It was such an awesome feeling to see that Colossus pop out of nowhere. And here we go. Trimaster going to try to push up the ramp. Going to be melted. He sees the Colossus. He knows he has to watch back. Todd sees everything because of this observer. What an epic game. Guys, I want you to know that this is rated 9 out of 10 on Gosu Gamers. I wouldn't have cast it if it didn't have a rating such as that. And that is why StarCraft Inc. is the place to come for replays, because I try not to throw up anything that is crap. Except if it's my own games, right? That's the crap that I throw up, because sometimes I like to rub my own dick. It's just how it goes. That was a drink that I just took. I was not, you know, taking some time to touch my Wonder Bar. But anyway, we are seeing both players on 2 bases, and that doesn't look like it's going to change in the near future. Simply because, oh, actually, as I put my foot in my mouth, Complexity Trimaster is looking at taking a third, escorted by some Vikings, which is a good choice, although Vikings, they are light. Once again, so it is a pretty close fight between Vikings and Phoenix if the two of them are microed properly. I mean, Phoenix can dance around the Vikings, do some damage, pull out, and recharge their shields. So, in a fight by themselves, the Phoenix will prevail, but in a fight in an army composition, the Phoenix aren't going to do very well against those Vikings. But we are seeing three freaking Colossus out now, and I think the Vikings are actually for the Colossus, not the Phoenix, but I mean, why not have both, right? And there is a big massive SCV sitting right in the middle of the map, and they are being escorted to the base, and snipes go down to murder a zealot is what it sounded like. Phoenix scouting the map, but I don't think they saw this. Todd has not scouted the new expansion, and now Nexus goes down for Todd. An observer comes in and does see this entire army, so once again, Todd knows what he's dealing with. He is spreading out his units a little bit just to avoid being EMP'd when the army gets to his ramp. Vikings taking pot shots at these Phoenix. Oh, there's some free kills. I love the way the Phoenix are just kind of stopping and shooting and stopping and shooting, picking up stray units where they can. They could probably get in here and clear these towers again, which is what he needs to be doing. Vision is everything, but I mean, Todd has some great observer placement, wandering the map with those, and some random scans going down for Trimaster. I don't think he got an observer. No, this observer is over here all by his lonesome, and safe from those scans. And guys, if you know, whoa, hey, a single zealot over here, but that just gave away the location of a proxy pylon. Everything for Trimaster is going to say that there is shit over here, and there is. And I mean, I think you should have committed a little bit more with some, like maybe 3 zealots, do some more DPS faster. Just kill more of that line before Trimaster knows what's happening. But it was a stall, it was a delay. At any cost, Trimaster did pull his army over there to defend the single zealot. And what that allowed Todd to do is take his own third. But we are seeing a fourth go up for Trimaster, and a fourth for Todd as well. So both these players feeling pretty comfortable with their armies, going to drop expansions left, right, and center. Here comes the conflict. Vikings way ahead of the army. If those Stalkers have Blink, they could definitely intercept this. A scan going down, and a observer follows. So this is a big army, lots of ghosts. Todd needs to make sure he's spread out, and he is. Colossus in the back, High Templar in the back as well. Hold position on the army. No, just stop. I would have assumed hold position. He needs to get a good concave here, or he will lose this fight. Extremely one-sided. No, his army is pulling ahead of itself. Stalkers and Zealots on the high ground. There was a ghost, I think, that wandered up here to try to do some damage. Maybe it was a Marine. I wasn't watching. And here we go. Here we go. Todd can get a huge, huge concave on the Terran. He's baiting him. He's waiting. He wants him to pull up to the high ground. He wants him to go for that expansion. He does! The Terran player is going up that ramp, and that is the death of that army. And here comes the Protoss army getting under the Vikings in the air. But the Vikings do manage to take out some Colossus. They're going to focus down all of them. The Zealots chasing that Terran army, but the Terran army abusing the ramp. The Colossus all go down to the Vikings. This is not a good engagement for Todd anymore. And now the storm goes down, and it is finally panning back in his favor. That ramp made that fight so cost-effective for Trimaster, and the Zealots continue to try to push up it, but without force fields, there are only so many Zealots you can tank. And then finally, that push goes down. Todd in good shape, never lost anything valuable. He lost all his Colossus, but it's not a big deal. That he did manage to get all the Vikings. And going to the units lost tab, I'm very curious. Man, we are seeing a big favor in hands of the Terran player losing a lot more. So Todd in the lead. In terms of unit count, look at the unit count here, 90 to 143, and yet the resources are still pretty even. It just shows you how expensive Protoss units could be, but they are potent motherfuckers. So, you know, you don't want to lose any. It's so easy to lose a very expensive unit and then be like, well, damn, I should have put that in the back of the army. And we see a drop here, and that's going to be the end of that base, and that is a huge pickup for the Terran player. We need a good warp in here, a good couple of storms. We're going to make an Archon, a couple Zealots, and Terran player, he's going to lose all of this. There's no PFs here, which, you know, once you start taking your fourth, you should start making your ship PFs, simply because 3 orbitals is enough to strip mine something real quick. There's no way you can spend the money on 3 orbitals that fast. And will he drop? No, he just keeps on booking it, which is a good choice. A couple Vikings flying in here, not really sure what their purpose is. A small brawl force right here for the Terran army. Just kind of teeter-tottering out of the base. A couple SCVs. This is some serious economic damage. He has actually tried to evacuate this base and ended up losing all his SCVs in the process. Most of his production flowed up into the top left, which is absolutely phenomenal. That is a good spot for it, as there's not a lot of air force for the Protoss player anymore. In fact, I don't think there's any. No, not one air unit left in the game. And then the starport for Todd did go down. I hear explosions. There is continuing to harass and drop. The feedback goes down on the medevac and kill it instantly, and the rest of those Marines go down. What are we seeing in the top? We're seeing a couple Zealots prevent this from going down and landing, but a huge, huge, huge force for Trimaster is going to come and try to clear that. And he does land, but I'm feeling pretty bad for these Zealots. He's splitting them up to buy some time. He's keeping this army here while the main army wanders into the natural for free. He's going to be able to get an armory, which is a huge tech path blocker. And here comes the army for Trimaster. He needs to cut it off. The storm's going down. The range from the Colossus becoming a huge benefit for the Protoss player. Most of that army gets cut off before it even gets close. Microing his Colossus back to do maximum damage. Archon shooting from the high ground, which isn't where you want them, but there's more on the ground. Trimaster, very sad. GG goes down. Protoss player Todd taking this game. That was a sweet game. From start to finish, what a close game. To think that both of these players had almost completely annihilated each other's mains at the start. what a game to come back to. 4-base macro game, 5-base, and yeah, drop her out. Fantastic. Guys, this is how you play StarCraft. I'm Mr. Incarnum. You're watching StarCraft Inc. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit that like button, and please come back.